RFK, RFK, man, MAHA, make America healthy again. I'm very very happy about this one. This actually might be personally. I'm thinking about this personally. This might be my favorite confirmation because man, RFK is about the health of this country. I love the fact that he is going to look at the consumption of the food. I mean, look at our food consumption, and I think that he's going to do something about the stuff that we're eating, man. Myself, our us, our kids, this has been a problem, and this has been a point of contention for many years. The food that we eat, how unhealthy our country has become. I mean, the statistics are just mind blowing, man. And it seems as if you have nefarious people who are trying to defend the other side of it and make excuses, or we didn't have the correct science back then, so on and so forth. Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist just go and look and see that we have an obesity problem in this country. And take a look at some of the old school pictures, man. Um, we have a serious problem on our hands. And if you have someone like RFK who wants to come here and he wants to tackle this problem, and it seems like he is very serious about it, I don't see why there would be opposition, man. Sometimes I think that um, these people are just party. RFK was a former Democrat. He didn't like what the hell was going on over there, and he comes over to the Republican side, man. I mean, what that speaks volumes on both gentlemen. It speaks volumes for RFK. Speaks volumes for Donald Trump. He comes over there. Donald Trump accepts him. Like, hey, you know something? Let's do something about this, man. And Donald Trump kept every promise that he told him. You'll see here momentarily. RFK speaks highly of President Trump, and he says that on a handshake, man, Donald Trump kept all of his promises to him, and now here we have it. We have the leader of MAHA here, man, make America healthy again. And if we are being totally honest, this gentleman here and his movement definitely helped put President Donald John Trump into the White House. And people say, "Oh, I've heard it before. Oh, it's political suicide for him to do what he did." Look, man, there's a lot of Democrats that came over. You take a look at RFK, you take a look at Tulsi Gabbard, and look at Mayor Eric Adams. Man, he's cooperating with the Trump administration with the whole situation with ICE and getting the illegal immigrants that are here, taking them back to their home country, man. And let's start with the criminals. The ones that are criminals even in their own country, man. So anyway, without further ado. Let's take a look at let's go take a look at my our guy, man, RFK.
We are there. RFK Jr. has been confirmed by the full Senate as the HHS Secretary. We're watching on the right side of our screen, and we have moved into that position now with another cabinet member in place for President Trump. And senior correspondent on Congress, Chad Pergram, is with me now. So, Chad, it was just a couple minutes before I saw you last time. This went quickly.
Yeah, and sometimes the waiting is the hardest part here on Capitol Hill, as Tom Petty might say. They sat on 50 votes for quite a while. We didn't think that there was going to be a problem confirming RFK Jr. as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. But Rick Scott, the Republican senator from Florida, he came in and voted yes, and that pushed it over the edge. And immediately after him, Peter Welch, the Democratic senator from Vermont, he came in and voted no. This is a party line vote except for one vote. Mitch McConnell, the former Republican leader from Kentucky, he voted no. He was also the only nay yesterday on the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. I should note what's interesting here with McConnell is that he voted to break a filibuster on both nominees. Sometimes you have a senator say, OK, let's just get to the end of this process. I oppose the issue. I oppose the bill. I oppose the nominee, but I'm not going to hold it up. Sometimes they will try to hold it up as much as they can. Mitch McConnell did not have the votes on his side. We're waiting to see if there's a statement here from Mitch McConnell. I notice when he puts out statements in favor of the nominees that he supports, that he does so in a full-throated fashion. He says, it is my pleasure to support so-and-so. But he had some grievances with Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary. He had grievances with Tulsi Gabbard, and he has, not held back when he has indicated why he voted against them. And remember that Mitch McConnell suffered from polio as a child and has really had some reservations about this nominee because of his past statements on vaccines. Once they get through this confirmation, they are not done yet. Brooke Rollins is up for Agriculture Secretary. She will get bipartisan support. And as you mentioned just a few minutes ago, Kash Patel, who's up for FBI director, his nomination has been moved out of committee, and they will put him on the floor next week. That will be filibustered by the Democrats. And if the Republicans stick together, they'll probably overcome that, probably confirm him toward the end of next week, Harris.
Well, and I point out, you and I said this yesterday about Tulsi Gabbard, no matter how things may have started, they are ending up to be exactly what the president was looking for, with the exception of a very short period for Matt Gaetz, who, fell away from this process. But what's interesting is the vice president, J.D. Vance, has been out of the country for the last couple of these, meaning they didn't need a tie break by the president of the Senate or the vice president, as we know it. And that's fascinating. Right. So there will only be one or two votes.
Yeah, and also consider how rare that is to have a vice president be necessary to break a tie on a nomination for the cabinet. We've had them for lower tier persons, but that had never happened before until it was the confirmation vote of Betsy DeVos in 2017. And Vice President Pence came and broke that tie. Vance had to be here to break the tie for Pete Hegseth a few weeks ago in late January.
Not the last couple.
They didn't think because otherwise he would have been here. He would have been here.
Absolutely. All right, Chad Pergram, on the breaking news on Capitol Hill, we have a new Secretary of HHS. Thank you very much for the reporting.
We have a new Secretary of HHS. We got RFK, man. I love it. I love it, man. Trump, he just continues to win. And I think that these nominations, man, are for the benefit of the United States of America, man. You would think that people on the Democratic side would be happy. You would think that Mitch McConnell, but no, Mitch McConnell voted against RFK, voted against Tulsi Gabbard, and I think we got a statement. We got a statement right here. This is breaking news. We got a statement from Mitch McConnell right now. Let's cut to it.
Did you hear the question, Senator? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Penny.
Okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
Well, I mean, technical difficulties there. Mitch McConnell had technical difficulties, but we'll see if we can we can get back. I think it's time. I think it's time for Mitch McConnell to hang it up. But it must be something, man, for these people. I mean, there's several people that are still in Congress that are in their 80s, and I think one gentleman is in his 90s. Got to keep that criminal money coming in, man. And you got to come to work every now and then. You got to show up, photo op, collect a lot of money. Greatest investors in the world, man. Who would have known? They work for the government.
Place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right. I, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support and defend.
That I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
Against all enemies.
Against all enemies.
Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
on which I am about to enter.
on which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Secretary.
I want to begin by thanking President Trump for giving me this extraordinary opportunity. And I want to introduce my family and thank them for being here. My wife, Cheryl, my cousin, Anthony Shriver, my daughter, Kik, my other daughter, Kira, Carolina Shriver, Joey Shriver, Jackson Hines, and Amaryllis Kennedy. And I want to thank all of you for your support and throughout this whole 2.5-year journey. My first time in this Oval Office was in 1961, and I came here to meet, or 1962. I came here and I had a meeting with my uncle, who was president then, where we talked about the environment. He was involved deeply, as we all know, in restoring physical fitness to this country. He challenged at one point during his administration, he challenged Americans to do a 50-mile walk, which I ultimately did. But I remember the day that my father completed his walk. We were staying up at Camp David. And my father came in after 18 hours walking on the C&O towpath with his feet bleeding and blisters on them. My father had one of his best friends was Al Lowenstein. And Al Lowenstein ultimately was a congressman from New York who was assassinated himself in 1980. But Al Lowenstein had started the Dump Johnson movement to get rid of President Johnson and end the Vietnam War. And at the time that he started it, people just thought it was a fool's errand. And ultimately, he asked my father to run for president against Johnson. My father wouldn't do it at that time, and he asked Gene McCarthy. McCarthy did it, and he joined that campaign. And my father ultimately ran, and Johnson then dropped out. So Al Lowenstein had succeeded. And although Al Lowenstein was on the other side now, running against my father with Gene McCarthy, my father wrote him a note, a quote from Emerson, where he said, "If a single man plant himself firmly on his own ideal and there abide, the whole wide world will come around to him." For 20 years, I've gotten up every morning on my knees and prayed that God would put me in a position where I can end the childhood chronic disease epidemic in this country. On August 23rd of last year, God sent me President Trump. All right. And he gave me he's now given me, he's kept every promise that he's made to me. He's kept his word in every account and gone way beyond it. I'm so grateful to you, Mr. President. A lot of people told me that I couldn't trust President Trump, that I better get it in writing. And we did a handshake, and everything that he told me he was going to do, he has done. Right. And I'm so grateful to him, and I've told you before, I genuinely believe that you are a pivotal historical figure, and you are going to transform this country at a time when we see all of the indicia of democracy now in tatters in our country. We see the rise of the military-industrial complex, the rise of totalitarianism, these attacks on our Constitution, and this breathtaking epidemic that is disabling our people. President Trump has promised to restore the American dream in this country. A healthy person has 1,000 dreams. A sick person only has one. 60% of our population has only one dream, that they get better. President Trump has promised that he's going to restore America's strength. But we can't be a strong nation if we have a weak citizenry. If people are sick, 60% of our people are sick, 77%, as President Trump mentioned, of our children cannot qualify for military service. And we need a man on a white horse now. We need somebody who is willing to come in and has the spine and the guts and the strength to challenge orthodoxies, to stand in the way of vested interests, and to break institutions that have turned against our democracy. President Trump has shown again and again that he is that hero. And most recently, I greatly appreciate, and I called you the day that you announced the termination of USAID. My uncle started USAID in 1961 for humanitarian purposes, to put our country on the side of the poor. It has been captured by the military-industrial complex. It has become a sinister propagator of totalitarianism and war across the globe. And very few people understand how sinister this agency really is. And President Trump saw that, and he stood up to it with a masterstroke. And we want to do the same thing with the institutions that are stealing the health of our children. We need a revolutionary figure, and you are that figure, and I'm very grateful for you for giving me this opportunity. I want to recognize some of the allies that I've had in this battle for a long time are Senator Rand Paul, Senator Ron Johnson, Senator Roger Marshall, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Buddy Carter, who've all been champions of the MAHA agenda before I even came along. I'm very grateful for you for standing strong. Thank you very much, President.
You know, RFK's giving President Trump his flowers, man. The thing that stood out to me is, you know, he said that people told him you can't trust President Trump. You need to get it in writing. And you know, these dudes is old school. It's like, you know something, we're gonna keep it a buck. They shook hands, and he said that President Trump not only kept his word, he exceeded what he said he would do. So congratulations, RFK, man. This is exciting news, man. We should all get behind this because he wants to make America healthy again. And we see time and time again so many people that we know is getting cancer. I mean, it's alarming because it's getting younger and younger. I mean, you didn't, you know, I was talking to some of my elders, man, about this, family members and, you know, people that are like family members, right? And they were just talking about how when back in their day, they didn't see people getting cancer the way that they are. People were more fit. You know, people, you see so many people that's obese now, and they were saying back in their day, you didn't really see that, man. Everybody was outside. Everybody was, you know, active. You know, and they believe, just like a lot of us believe it. And even there's studies that show our diet, the food that we're putting into our bodies is causing this, man. And this is a huge problem, dude, because another great thing that RFK said was, you know, when you're sick, you only have one dream. You know, when you're not sick, you have, you know, thousands of dreams. But when you're sick, you only have one dream, and that dream is to get better, man. You know, and man, I'm glad he got confirmed, man. I'm really looking for some great things for him to do. This gentleman seems like he's very sincere. He loves his country, and I'm glad, man. I'm looking forward to RFK. Congratulations, sir. Well deserved. Well deserved. And thank you, President Trump, for nominating him. And I'm glad he got confirmed. RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., ladies and gentlemen.
Slapped. So I think in many ways, President Trump and Mr. Kennedy have asked some of the right questions. Problem is their answers will only make a bad situation worse. So let me ask Mr. Kennedy again. If we want to make America healthy, will you assure the American people that you will fight to do what every other major country on earth does, guarantee health care to every single American?
I'm going to make America healthier than other countries in the world right now.
Will you guarantee do what every other major country does? That's a simple question.
And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too. Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, no,
and protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would come. No. I ran for president like you. I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
receiver of pharmaceutical money.
Contributions from workers all over this country. Workers,
you were the single,
not a nickel from corporate PACs.
You were the single largest acceptor of pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right, but you have not answered. Last question. You have not answered my question.
Mr. Chairman, we're 3 minutes.
How do
we make America healthy if you don't guarantee health care?
We're literally 3 minutes over here now.
Well,
how long does it keep going? At some time, you're just battering the witness, Bernie.
Not battering the witness.
Yes, you are. And you're getting upset at him. You're going at him just like anybody else would.
We'll come to order. Bernie's going over.
There have been.
Man, Bernie got upset. It's okay when you do it. It ain't okay when I do it.